Today we're going to be making pizza margherita at home, and I'm going to take you with me. We're going to start this series on unlearning the kitchen by making a pizza in your home oven. It's that simple. I want to break the stigma that you have to have a baking steel or some kind of pizza stone or a whole pizza oven. It's not true. You just need an oven that can heat up high enough, a metal tray that can hold your pizza, and a really simple pizza dough recipe. Let's start by making the dough. So we're gonna set these ingredients aside for the sauce. So I have my flour, yeast, and salt all measured out here. We're gonna actually temp our water. This is gonna be important if you want proper rise in your dough and proper fermentation. So I'm just gonna take a thermometer and stick it in some warm water, basically just mixed in hot water and some room temperature water. We're looking for something around 110 Fahrenheit and 43 Celsius. I'm gonna measure out our water in a bowl, just about 85 grams of that. And we'll start by adding our yeast to the warm water. We're gonna add in our flour and our salt, and just with your clean hands, mix this around. So I'm just trying to bring this into a shaggy dough. You don't need any additional tools. I do not have a bench scraper, so I'm just using my fingers, making sure to get all the sides of the bowl, scraping out all the dry stuff on the edges. We are going to come with a very sticky and shaggy dough. So now we're gonna wanna measure our dough. So my dough is at 32 Celsius, which means it's a little too warm. So when we're resting this for 30 minutes, I'm gonna actually leave it in the fridge just so that I can bring that temp down, calm it down a little bit. Let the gluten do its work. I'm covering it with a damp cloth to avoid drying out the top. We'll come back for this 30 minutes. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. I'm gonna go check on my dough. It's still gonna look like a shaggy mess. What I'm trying to make sure is that there is no dry spots. You just don't want to have any of those like clumpy bits at the very top, which is why we cover it with a damp cloth. Basically, when the dough is resting for 30 minutes, we're letting the gluten do its thing. We're letting it basically form and relax after doing a little bit of that mixing, and it's absorbing all that moisture. And now we're just gonna do a little bit of a stretch and fold. It's basically, think of it like a rubber band, right? You're trying to pull the elastic and then you're folding it and you're aligning things. And I'm wetting my hand in between just so that it doesn't stick on my hand. And we just rotated it, and we're gonna make sure to check the temperature here. So it's been sitting in the fridge this whole time. It's reading at about 22 Celsius, which is close to what I'm looking for. So I'm actually not gonna put it back in the fridge, and I'm gonna leave it out to just keep around that room temp, making sure to cover it with that damp cloth again. And I'm not putting it anywhere bright. I don't want the sun to be hitting it and like over fermenting the dough. Just gonna set it aside on the shelf and just wait for another hour. My oven's not that big. This dough is actually enough for a standard size oven. I'm bringing my scale, and it helps to spray your scale down with water if you don't want your dough sticking. It's a nice little spritz. And again, wet your hands when you're handling dough. It just saves you a lot of hassle. And I'm just trying to get the total weight of my dough, and that is at 199. So it's like 200 grams, so 100 grams each. I'm gonna divide that into two. You don't want to overwork it. You want your pizza dough to stay nice and soft. This will help you later on with the sticking. You can see I'm just using my hands to oil it up, pick it up seam side down, place her in there. So the temperature of the dough at this stage is very important, especially if you're going to sit it in the fridge and go about your day. You can prep this in the morning, but just make sure when you have done your pre-shape, you want to keep it around 24, which is the temperature we've been maintaining the dough at. I can actually put it in the fridge throughout my whole day, go about my day, go to work, and then come back later in the evening. It will already be cold proofed over however many hours, right? Just don't do it like till the next day. I'm not forgetting about this guy. Right? I'm gonna actually take him out first, and then we're gonna oil it. Same thing, same steps. Just gonna do a nice like scrape. All right, so I have my second dough done, covering it with that damp cloth. And these are both just gonna go in the fridge, and I'm gonna go work. And maybe I'll bring you along with me.
What's up, boys? Watch out. Hot water. Bro, the camera.
Guys, come on. if you're doing it at your home oven, just crank it all the way with the tray in. We are trying to heat up the tray. That's why we're putting it in for a minimum of 30 minutes. I have the ingredients prepped here. I'm gonna actually dice up the onion. And you can see that I don't really care for the size. I'm just trying to get them as even as possible. We're gonna heat up this pot over here. I'm gonna just add some oil to this. My oil's hot. I'm gonna add in the onions. And we're just gonna sweat it. Can I add a little bit of salt to help you here? Just brings out the moisture in the onion. It sweats it better. So my oil is shimmering over here, and you can see that the onions are releasing all of that moisture. So I'm just gonna add in that minced garlic. We're just gonna keep this on low, medium, low heat. We're not trying to burn our garlic here. So the garlic is starting to brown. I'm gonna add in that tomato paste. And what we're trying to do here is kind of cook that tomato paste a little bit with all those aromatics in there, letting the moisture evaporate a little bit, making sure not to burn your garlic and your onions. So it's the perfect time to add in your tomato puree. We're gonna want to bring this up to kind of a medium high actually. And I'm just stirring constantly to distribute that heat evenly. As you can see, we're getting a good amount of bubbles here, and we're gonna add in our herbs and our spices. Remember, we're not seasoning yet because we're gonna bring this down into a reduction. So this is at low heat, and I'm just gonna leave it alone. We're not gonna touch it. Just gonna make sure to come back every once in a while, stir it up a little bit, make sure nothing's burning, nothing's sticking at the bottom. And we just wait for the dough to be done and for our oven to be heated. So I have here aged mozzarella, which is why it's a little bit more firm. This is great for melting. So my plan is to put it in at the very last minute in the oven when the pizza is baking. I'm just gonna slice it. I might even break it up just so I get more even distribution. All right, and now we wait. All right, so as you can see, I have both my doughs ready here. And what we're gonna do is actually flour our countertops. Trying to make sure that that bottom is not sticking. The dough is really soft and it's really delicate. I'm just starting to nudge it. And I'm not trying to press those edges because you want that lovely pizza crust. Be careful not to over flour as well. And once you've pushed and shaped your dough a little bit, you're gonna wanna start to stretch it out. So making sure your hands are nice and dry and floured, you're gonna come underneath and you're gonna actually use your knuckles. You're gonna lift it off the counter and you're gonna start rotating it. And you're just stretching out the middle, watching that center. As you can see, it's getting thinner. Let gravity do the work. If I see some edges that I think are a little bit thick, I just come in without lifting it, because when you lift it, the whole thing's stretching. And I want you to find something flat, wooden preferably, because we're gonna use this as our makeshift pizza peeler. You don't need to buy a peeler, dust it, just so that the pizza doesn't stick. You're gonna gently pick her up, you're gonna lay her in there. With our sauce that's been reducing on the side, I still have the heat on by the way. Be careful not to go too heavy on it. Start little, spread it out. So now we're gonna go bring it over to the oven. I want to emphasize not to open this door for too long. We're gonna try and act quickly, but carefully. I don't want anyone burning themselves at home. Quickly open it up. Nudge that, nudge that, nudge that. Ooh, mistake. And that's okay, because it's for yourself, right? It's getting nice and brown now, but it's not done yet. I do have this peeler with me, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to kind of rotate it so that it cooks evenly all around. And you can see it's not sticking. I'm just trying to get that even cook all around. Now, it's almost done, and literally at the very last minute, we're gonna put in our cheese. So we're actually keeping it in the middle because you don't want your cheese to spill over the sides when it melts. And this will take maybe like 15 to 20 seconds. She looks ready. Just gonna take this out. And we're gonna put all that basil in there. I need a few. I need to overwhelm the pizza. I feel like 3 is a good number. There you go, my funny looking pizza. Who says pizza has to be round? Is there a history to that? I'm not sure, but I hope I didn't make the Italians angry. Okay. I have tomato oil. Let's take a look at the bottom. Oh, look at that. It's got a bit, it's not as dark as I would like it, but you know, hey, who wouldn't like that? Hopefully you're trying this at home and hopefully it's a success. If you are able to get a pizza rounder than mine, please show me and teach me, because I feel like I could never get a round pizza in a small oven like that.